Give it up for the Friends Band. Okay. Good morning, everyone. If you are willing and able, will you please stand and sing with us? Lyrics, words are in the program. blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world.
Morning. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, the unofficial United States holiday. And because I now live in the Pacific Northwest and because neither the Broncos nor the Packers are in the game, I guess I'll root for the Seahawks. Okay, that meets with your approval, or at least most of you. Thank you. Made the right choice. I still don't own any blue or green jerseys, but maybe next year. Okay. Well, thank you for being with us. I'm Reverend Bridget McCann, the Senior Minister and Spiritual Director here at the Center, and it's always my pleasure and joy to be with you on Sunday mornings. I am going to turn it over right away now to Nadine Mahler, who's going to share some announcements and then lead us in prayer and silence. Thank you, Nadine.
Good morning. A special welcome to anyone who may be with us for the first time in person or in our virtual community space. We have welcome packets on the table in the back of the sanctuary for newcomers. And the same packet information is available for our global community on our website, cslportland.org. Both contain information about who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. On our website, you can sign up for informational weekly emails, register for classes, and receive a free gift on your birthday. So just a quick reminder at this time to please silence your cell phones or other devices if you haven't already done so. And also, in order to keep our new carpet clean, please only bring water in clear bottles into the sanctuary. Anything else can be placed on the entry door table in the back. Thank you. So we just have a few announcements. We're happy to share that we're accepting applications to the Board of Directors. So our board provides important support to the senior minister and helps us guide the secular and financial affairs of the center. All applications are forwarded to the nominating committee, which includes Reverend Bridget, Bo Hooker, and Reverend Barb Wiest. And if you're passionate about our spiritual center and excited to help shape its future, we warmly encourage you to apply. Wednesday night is our weekly online meditation at 7 p.m., and the Zoom link is on our website. And you can find all this information and more in the Sunday pamphlet and on our website, cslportland.org. Today, licensed practitioners Donna Wallace and Kate Barrett are serving on High Watch, holding a sacred container of consciousness in the sanctuary, and for our virtual community participating virtually, our spiritual community. Today, our special music features Ari Harris. We also welcome our wonderful Friends Band and our community singers. And our beautiful flowers are courtesy of Pamela Jean. Thank you, Pamela. So I invite you to sit back and relax, because I know that somewhere between this beautiful spiritual community, the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came to receive.
Come to earth. Do you remember why have you taken birth? Why have you come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember.
To love, serve, and remember. I know that there is a power, a presence, an infinite intelligence, a life force, an energy, a vibration. And it is that vibration of love that brought each of us into being. Each of us is a unique, individualized expression of that one, each a godling in manifestation. And so I know that as we move onward, upward, and forward into our lives today, tomorrow, and everlasting, it is all good. It is Spirit expressing through us, as us. It is that love at our very core of our being. Recognizing those glimmers of love throughout the day, when someone holds the door for you with a smile, when you allow someone to go ahead of you at the car. Each is an opportunity to express love, to recognize that divine presence within another being, knowing that we are all one, all connected, all part of the whole. And so I claim that we love, we serve each other, and we remember who we are and whose we are. Grateful for this truth, I release my word. I let it be, knowing that it is done. And so it is. And now I ask you to go inside and remember who you are.
Thank you, Ari. You know, that song, Love, Serve, and Remember, I just discovered that song a few months ago, and I was so pleased when Ari happened to choose it for this month. It's beautiful. Thank you. And thank you, Mark. It's February, which means we get to celebrate Black history. And how we're going to do that this year as a spiritual community is celebrate our Black history within Centers for Spiritual Living, within the Science of Mind teaching. And a few years ago, our companion community, the Center for Spiritual Living in Dallas, Texas, they did a tremendous amount of work in researching and reclaiming the Black history within Science of Mind. And then they made a series of 4 videos, short videos, to celebrate that Black history. And so we're going to view one of those each Sunday this month. We looked at part 1 last week, and we have part 2 queued up for you today. They're short. They're only about 3 minutes. But thank you, CSL Dallas, for this tremendous work. And as befitting the talk I'm going to be giving in a few moments, they went back and got our Black history for us. Thank you, Bo. Thank you, Mark. We can begin. And Bo, who's on sound.
Here's a little-known Black history science of mind fact. Meet Sarah Flowers, a prolific African-American writer of science of mind books in the 1940s. Flowers was a writer, publisher, metaphysician, frequent speaker, and teacher of the science of mind. She took the major course at the Institute of Religious Science in Los Angeles in 1937 and wrote her first book, Common Sense and Its Application in Everyday Life, in 1941. Other books followed, including The Metaphysical Thesaurus and Metaphysical Dictionary, Should I Pay for Metaphysical Treatment, and Atomic Metaphysics, The Electrical Principle of Man. In Atomic Metaphysics, she writes, in metaphysics, we must then recognize that there is a power that revolves in and around, out and beyond us, at a rate equal to the atomic energy in our material beings. But it's important to note what Sarah Flowers considered her most important work: teaching practitioners metaphysical treatment for all of the problems that confront us today. You might think Science of Mind's inclusive teachings of oneness would be immune to America's history of racial segregation, but that was not the case. Dr. J. Arthur Twine founded Eastside Church of Religious Science in his home in 1932. The congregation quickly grew and became the third church to be ordained and chartered by Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science. It was a thriving multiracial church, but in 1945, Third Church of Religious Science, as it was now called, was moved to the bottom of the church listings in Science of Mind magazine and noted as a colored church. Ernest Holmes found this unacceptable and went to speak to church members. He said, "I have been told that too many non-Caucasians attend these lectures. True, there are Caucasians and non-Caucasians in this congregation, but this we must affirm. We are all children of one living God, one God that permeates all without exception, one intelligence that governs all, and most important, every man and woman who abides in the universe is a significant entity in the one universal consciousness. Our doors will forever be open to all. Whoever you are, be proud. You are a divine idea in the mind of God." The magazine staff immediately corrected this error and returned to listing churches alphabetically. The following year, Dr. Twine made his transition, but the church remains strong today as Third Church Center for Spiritual Living. A number of Dr. Twine's descendants became practitioners, lay leaders, and ministers. including his great-granddaughter, Reverend Stacy Hilton, who currently serves as co-spiritual director of the Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living. Dr. J. Arthur Twine and Sarah Flowers, Black evolutionaries in science of mind.
I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm not quite tall enough. Okay. All right. Ari's up.
Hello again. You feel ready? Oh, I've got to turn the volume up. That would help. Hi. This is a song called Courage from the Heart that I wrote. Traveled is less traveled for a reason. It's lined with mirrors. We must face ourselves. The journey's done on our own, with courage from the heart. It's easier to stay on the beaten path. Where others go, we follow, thinking they know better. But deep within, that little child crying band.
All right, thank you again. So, I am really good at losing things. I am so good at losing things and leaving my belongings behind that my former partner forbade me from borrowing her belongings because there was no guarantee I would come home with them at the end of the day. So maybe it's just me, but I suspect we all do this to some extent. We leave things behind that we wish we could go back and find. And we leave intangible things behind that we wish we could go back and reclaim. It might be a lapsed friendship or sense of security or all the time that seems to just fly by. Boy, if we could get some of that back, right? And we lose things that sometimes we didn't really lose them, but we never really had them, or we only had them partially. It might be our family history, our cultural history, our ancestral knowledge and values and stories. And related to that history or that lost connection with our ancestry, we might feel a sense of not knowing completely who we are even. I mean, who would I be if I knew all my history? You know, my parents were not people that talked about our family. I know very little about my family history. I bet a lot of you know more. I grew up with this strong Irish identity, and second to that was German. But then we found out that our ancestors are actually from England and Scotland, not Ireland. And my last name, McCann, was actually my father's adoptive father's last name, which I didn't know till I was an adult. And then that German ancestry that we thought we came from our mother's side, a bunch of my cousins had DNA tests done, and then they texted this whole huge group, like cousin text group, and said, guess what? We're not German. And so I'm kind of like, well, then what the heck am I? And yeah, I still don't know. I'm a little Irish, I'm in a little Scottish and a little English, but other than that, I don't know. And sometimes we lose our spiritual anchors, or we leave them behind. We might do this, or this might be done to us, it might feel, when the world has gone crazy and we're scared, or when we've suffered a devastating loss and it's just too painful, or when the demands of adult living catch up with us and we yearn for that childhood innocence and easy faith. We lose or leave behind all kinds of things, sometimes deliberately, and sometimes it's done for us or to us by other people. The Akan people of Ghana have a proverb that teaches the importance of going into our past and reclaiming what we have forgotten. It's Sankofa. Sankofa. The short translation is go back and fetch it. I was first introduced to this idea by my friend Reverend Michael Lattimore, who is an African-American minister in our movement, senior minister at Ahaya Center for Spiritual Living in Pasadena, California. And he taught me a little bit about Sankofa from his ancestors who hail from Ghana. Now, I said the short translation is go back and fetch it, but the more correct, fuller translation is it is not taboo to go back and fetch that which you have forgotten. And it's very often represented by the Sankofa bird, a mythical bird, who when you see it represented, it has its feet facing forward, but its head is turned backwards. And in its mouth is an egg. And that egg represents the future, which it has just snatched off its back, meaning our future is in the past. Bruce Tumuhimbise wrote, Sankofa teaches us that we must go back to our roots in order to move forward. That is, we should reach back and gather the best of what our past has to teach us so that we can achieve our full potential as we move forward. Whatever we have lost, forgotten, foregone, or been stripped of can be reclaimed, revived, preserved, and perpetuated. The Sankofa bird reminds us that we must continue to move forward as we remember our past. And part of this principle, this teaching, is that if we want to be strong today and have a strong future, we need to go back and fetch the lessons from our past and incorporate it. Now, this can apply to things big and small. It can apply to something as big as a group of people reclaiming their heritage or their ancestral values. And it can be as small, but also pretty big if you think about it. Something as small as revisiting and correcting a hurtful comment that we made from somebody. Now, how's this Sankofa? When we do that, it allows us to go back and fetch a better way to show up in the next conversation. That too can be Sankofa. And this going back to fetch what we have forgot is important work to do. It's important spiritual work, individually and collective. Because each of us, our souls, individually and collectively, are on this upward spiral of evolution, right? And each upward spin rests on what came before. So we do well to go back and fetch what can shore up that past and make us stronger for that next evolution. So I want us today to think about how we can apply this principle of Sankofa to various aspects of our lives. First, that very fundamental, our family and cultural histories. Now, this idea of Sankofa itself is very prevalent in African American communities and throughout the African diaspora. And the fact that it is so prevalent is an example itself of Sankofa. People of African descent saying, you know what, we're going to go back and claim what is good and beautiful about our ancestral heritage, our culture, our values, and we're going to bring them into today to make ourselves stronger today and our communities stronger. That itself is an example of Sankofa. Native Americans have done this in many aspects, reclaiming their languages and the cultures that are embedded in those languages, reclaiming their cultural spiritual practices, their traditional ways of managing resources, even their traditional justice systems. The Navajo Nation, many years ago, reclaimed their traditional justice system. It's a system of restorative justice. It's a system based on the whole community coming together in conversation to come to a consensus. It's not about punishment. It's about all the stakeholders agreeing, what do we need to do to make this right? To heal the relationships. And it's not just the offenders and the victims that participate in those conversations. it's their families, and it's representatives of the entire community, because they know no one person is an island. And if we are going to go better or go forward stronger, we need to be together. So the Navajo Nation has gone back and fetched something that they know they need to be stronger for their futures. And we can all do this. We can all examine our past, our history, our cultures to reclaim what is valuable, what we need today. Now let's be clear about something that this is not. It does not mean going back to the past and digging up every little detail, good, bad, and ugly, and bringing all of it forward wholesale. Now, we do need to look at all of it. We definitely need to look at all of it, the good, bad, and the ugly, but we get to use our discernment while we're doing that, right? We get to use our intuition to discern what is good and valuable, and yes, bring that forward. What needs to be left in the past, but we can learn from it so as not to do it again. What needs to be left in the past, but we need to do some forgiveness work so as not to be stuck back there with it. And even what are those things we left in the past that, well, not great, but maybe we can transform it in a way that we could still use it today? So what this means is a critical examination of our histories and our cultures and bringing forward the best of it. If we could do that, then we can do as the Buddha said, let the past make you better, not bitter. I had an opportunity to engage in this a bit several months ago with a group that's actually housed at Ahaya CSL, where Reverend Michael is. I can't remember if I mentioned that I was introduced to Sankofa. I did mention that by Reverend Michael, right, at Ahaya. I was engaged in a group in his center, and we were led on a guided meditation to basically reconnect with our culture. Whatever each person feels is their culture. Now, we have several cultural identities. It might be nationality, race, gender, profession, religion. There's a lot of aspects to our culture, and this guided meditation had us reflect on whatever we felt like we, each individual, needed to reflect on. Well, I ended up reflecting on that part of my past that I left behind years ago, Catholicism. I left it all behind. It was very conscious, deliberate decision. There was a time in my life when I thought there is nothing about that I want in my life. Well, then, Reverend Kathy is laughing. During this guided meditation, I re-examined that. And I realized, you know what, it wasn't all bad. To which I think I heard my poor departed mother saying, finally. But I realized it wasn't all bad. I did still consciously decide to leave in the past those parts that I find harmful about Catholicism, the whole idea of judgment and humility to the point of unworthiness and hell and damnation. I have left that behind. But I realize there are a few things Catholics do very well. Ritual and invoking the sense of the sacred. And I realized I like that. I'm going to bring that forward. In fact, I'm going to bring that forward into my ministry. Ritual and invoking the sacred. And I've tried to do that. And this year, we're actually implementing a new initiative here at Portland CSL. 5th Sundays are going to be Ritual Sunday. So next month, in March, will be our first try at this. So instead of a talk, it'll be ritual in communities. So please join us for our inaugural ritual Sunday in late March. And I invite you to ask yourself, what about your history, your culture, your life? What have you left behind that you can maybe go back and fetch because it might be beneficial for you today? The second aspect of our lives that we can apply the principle of Sankofa is our self-identity. That thing about you, or those many things about you that make you, you, distinguishable from everybody else. Now, there's some chance that many of us heard growing up that some aspect of us, well, that's a sin, that's wrong, you need to hide that. Or that's not normal, or you're to this or to that. And for women of a certain age, we often heard that's not for girls. And for men of a certain age, they often heard that's not for boys. Society pressures us to leave behind parts of ourselves just so we can get along and fit in. Well, let's declare that other people no longer get to decide or tell us who we are, who we ought to be. Let's each of us go back and fetch our full identity. Those parts of us that we have left behind to, not rock the boat or to fit in, those parts of our identity are still there. We can always go back and fetch them. In fact, I would encourage us to go back and get them so we can be all of who we are here to be. We're going to need those parts of us for that next upward spiral. Another part of ourselves that we sometimes leave behind or forget is our divine nature. Sometimes we do this to ourselves. It could be done to us by other people, but sometimes we do it to ourselves. We're really hard on ourselves. We're our own worst critics. It can even get to the point of berating ourselves for our mistakes. Or we get to feeling like we're unworthy of good. We doubt our ability to be a beneficial presence in the world. We can see God in other people, but we don't see it in the mirror. Your divine nature, our divine natures cannot be squashed. It is always there. Go back and get it. Don't let anybody tell you that you are not the face of God. Don't tell yourself that you are not the face of God. Because there's only one thing going on in this universe, and that is God expressing itself in, through, and as all of creation, and you are that. So go back and fetch your divine identity. The last area of our lives that I want to talk about today is reclaiming those inner resources when we feel like we've lost them. Dr. Joseph A. Bailey II was an African-American scholar, historian, author, professor, and philanthropist. And he wrote a lot about the solutions for Black Americans and the many problems they face because of racism. And for Dr. Bailey, a lot of the solution had to do with this idea of Sankofa. And he encouraged his fellow Black Americans to return to the ancient African values of truth, goodness, harmony, wisdom, beauty, and holism. Now, Dr. Bailey was also a metaphysical thinker. And you can see the blend of his metaphysics and his concept of Sankofa when he wrote, "Return to the source." And here he writes source with an uppercase S. Return to the source, furnisher of a first and continuous supply, so as to recover its richest lessons, its most instructive models, its best practices, and then put them in the service of the present and future. Well, we can do the same. We can return to that ultimate source when we feel like we've lost that inner joy and peace and wisdom, intuition, strength, creativity. These are resources that are imbued in our DNA before we are even born, because they're just in the universe, because, like I said, the universe is God, and those qualities are God qualities, right? So we cannot destroy these resources. We can forget them. We can leave them behind. We can abandon them or feel like they've abandoned us. But these resources are always there for us. We can go back and fetch them. We can do this by sitting in contemplation and remembering all those times when we felt abandoned by those qualities, and remember, oh, you know what? Life does return. I was really crushed at that one point of my life, but joy did return. Love did return. Life, creativity did return. We can do that. We can remember that and take faith in that and hope in that, in knowing, yeah, those resources are still there. I can go back and fetch them. Another inner resource that we sometimes leave behind is truth. Those things that we know to be true, but we leave behind for some reason. That truth of the universal loving presence, the truth in the basic goodness of humanity, the truth that this life is joy and meant to be joyful. Now, we leave these knowings behind for various reasons. We might leave it behind because the circumstances of life are just really hard. We might leave them behind when we've been betrayed and we feel like the foundation of our lives is just rocked to its core. We might leave them behind when the wound is too deep and it makes us question everything. But the beauty of truth is it's truth, and it cannot be destroyed. So if you feel like you've left some truth behind, some knowing behind, don't let life circumstances have you abandoning that truth. Go back and fetch it. Soren Kierkegaard said, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. So go back and fetch your understanding. Go back and fetch who you are. Go back and fetch what you know to be true so you can have a stronger, richer, better tomorrow. Let's pray. I invite our practitioners and ministers to stand and take this prayer into their consciousness on behalf of everyone now and in the future who might hear this prayer. How good it is to remember that one loving presence, that one power, self-knowing, self-existent cause that at some point said to itself, I want to know more of myself. I want to experience myself. And it created. And it continues to create. And it always creates. And it endlessly and infinitely creates and revels in itself through and as that creation, how good it is to go back and remember that fundamental truth. How good it is to go back and remember the fundamental truth that we are part and particle of that we are divine nature, and that because we are part and particle of the one that is the all of the all, we are always that. And when we have forgotten, we can remember. And how good it is to have the courage. And I declare now with my word that we all have the courage to go back and re-examine, to look at, to learn, to use our discernment and reclaim that which is good and beneficial, that was maybe lost, but can be remembered. And I just pause now for a brief silence so each person may just reflect for a moment. What have you left behind that you would like to reclaim for your future? I give thanks for Sankofa and all the people who have preserved this and shared it and invited us into it for the benefit of our one human family, for our lives, and for our communities, and for our world. I give thanks, I let it go, I let it be, knowing that we are strong and we are able, and so it is. All right. You know, thank you. Now is time for our sacred offering. I thank you in advance for all your giving in all the ways that you give, your financial gifts, your gifts of heart, your gifts of consciousness, your gifts of time, because we cannot do any of this without all of us. So thank you. I invite our ushers to come forward. They will pass a basket to collect your gifts. You can also donate online at cslportland.org. Just click on the Donate tab. And I believe in your Sunday, do we call it a bulletin, a booklet, a program? We call it lots of things. Program. I believe, is it true that the text to give information is in there? Yes, the text to give information is in there somewhere. You can do that as well. Thank you for your gifts. Let's bless and accept our offerings as call and response. I bless these sacred gifts.
I bless these sacred gifts.
Given graciously with love.
Given graciously with love.
These gifts bless, heal, and prosper all that they touch.
These gifts bless, heal, and prosper all that they touch.
In giving, I'm grateful to be richly, lavishly, and abundantly blessed. And so it is. I left mine upstairs. See, the ushers know to turn around and get the revs checked, but mine is upstairs in my wallet on my desk. I'll have to drop it in there later. Ari, thank you. If you're going through any challenge or something's going really, really well and you just want to express gratitude to the universe, some of our licensed prayer partners will be here in front of the platform after service and available for a short affirmative prayer. For those joining us online, you too can have the benefit of prayer. If you would like, there's a link in the chat. Click on that. It'll take you to a Zoom room where you'll be greeted by a volunteer host who will then place you in a private breakout room with a practitioner for prayer. You can also fill out a prayer request anytime at cslportland.org. And in the back here in the sanctuary at the table, you can fill out a prayer request card if you prefer old-fashioned paper and pen. All right. All right. I invite you to stand as you are able or desirous for our call and response benediction. Something wonderful is flowing through me right now.
Something wonderful is flowing through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
And life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
And life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
I think it. I believe it. I accept it. I am it. Just the way that I am. And just the way that I am not. And this week, or at any time, if you feel like you've been forgotten, go back and remember you were brought forth on purpose, for a purpose, and God knows your name, and so it is.
Please sing with us. Thank you.
It's very valid. I want you to know.
Well,
It would piss me off too.
now I'm just like, I shouldn't have even said it, you know. But
It sounds like she's trying to figure out how to navigate
yeah,
it, you know? Because also, in her defense, it really is impossible to control people's behavior, right? And like, truly, probably, unfortunately, the only way to eliminate this problem is to just not have this behavior. But I hear that that's not what we want.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
we don't all have the same concept of common sense. Some common sense is not the same.
Exactly.
I may put up a note like I did before.
I was going to say, I kind of felt like I was saying enough and shouldn't say anymore. But when I had a second slips up in, I was going to say, make yourself a nice printed sign. It looks like a thing. And return it to them. Because that's the kind of obviously what they do.
This is not church property, it is my personal.
Yeah, but I mean, just something as simple as